Jesus Christ. That, I needed a little energy this morning, and, damn, is that too much? Oh, yo, I put chat on the screen. I hope you don't mind. Obviously, it's in the way. Um, but I'll fix that. I'll fix that in a second. Anyway, the person who was first is Lord Vladek. With the message big, that is a fine message. You're cursed with the first, and you can pass it off if you wish. Some Norwegian dude tried, and they were really close. They were third here, but it was probably 3 seconds away. Almost got the coveted first with a sub or donation prime. Damn. Would that have been awesome? Anyway, TY for the tier 1 gifter. Some Norwegian dude. We're vibing, yeah. Moved places, says Vinny2000. Surrounded by 3 whole articles of IKEA furniture. Many a box and a smell of sawdust in the air. Let you decide if you sound happy or not. I don't know. I like the smell of sawdust. For me, sawdust is a nostalgic smell. I spent much of the first half of my life in various workshops, barns, things of that nature, chainsaws, both inside and out, it turns out. So I like that part of it. That part of it ain't bad. I'm not big on assembling IKEA furniture, but I don't know who is. I don't know who whomst is exactly. Can't do Warhammer yet because you don't have a Warhammer table yet, says Vinny2000. Oh, okay. Could these two messages perhaps be related? Not having a Warhammer table yet and being surrounded by IKEA stuff? Keep me posted. Also, Lord Whale redeemed a hats off, which I honored before I even went live. I used to have the Altered Beast hat on. I switched to PlayStation wear before we even began. I assure you it happened, but I guess you'll have to trust me. Yeah, I like that idea of a custom card SG Arcade. Primal Fuck Beast, tap to bop your head, yeah. Something like green, black, red, big body creature for 4. Vigilance, tap, bops its head, draw a card. If it is attacking, and then when it deals combat damage to a player, untap it. Something like that. So every turn it's bopping its head over and over, right? And it's allowed to draw a card because black and green are in its cost. If it was red, it would have to be some temporary shithole, like exile a card and it's gone forever if you can't play it right now. But I think real card advantage is okay. Everybody's scry. Oh, should it be scry too? Okay. Another hats off, sure. I'm gonna go back to the hat that I originally had. Get owned. If it was white, it'd be like, choose an opponent. That opponent draws 3 cards. You draw 1 card and gain 2 life. If they have more lands than you. That'd be a white card draw spell. Embarrassing, right? The red ones are like, exile the top 3 cards of your library, frown because you actually wanted to use some of them later on, but they're just fucking gone now. For each one you don't play this turn, discard a card at random. Target opponent asks you if you're having fun yet. And you ask target opponent what card advantage is. Two life, damn, we're pushing the power a bit here. I mean, for white, then you can... White likes to gain random life. That could be nice. Ahem. If it was white, respect your parents and listen at a low volume, Heywoah. You haven't been around a lot of black culture, have you? There's a lot of strictness over there as well. I suppose it depends on the family, but you could use some fries. Oh, nice. Yeah. Tap 2, ask opponent if they want to go to Wendy's, get some fries, get some of those spicy nugs with the sweet and sour sauce. Delish. Actually, just okay, to be honest. Hot take. Wendy's spicy nuggets. They're alright, I guess. That being said, it's fast food. How picky can you be? The shit is made instantly and for cheap, so you gotta cut corners somewhere, right? Should we get to some Age of Sigmar news? I have... Should I call them spoilers? I don't know if I should call them spoilers. I got information in Giga to read, but I'm just wondering, as always, if when I click on Age of Sigmar section of their news page, if I can find even one Age of Sigmar piece of news on the entire page. Now it says all here, but rest assured, I am clicking Age of Sigmar. 40k Horus Heresy 40k. Side game. Comic 40k. 40k Horus Heresy Middle Earth. Side game Warhammer Black Library. $40k Necromunda, 40k Rumor Engine, Necromunda, side game 40k. Okay. Well, you know what? There is... If we are expanding Age of Sigmar to count side game, which I feel in desperation I must at this point, then we have, on average, 1 per 5. 1/5. That's something. The absolute drought, yeah. Can you hear you shoot down the warband scrolls? But just want to say that in Underworlds, the Exiled Dead have the fucking Jewess. Oh, nice. Yeah, I never... So, I don't know anything about the actual game of Underworlds. But Is it good? And by it, I mean these warbands. Not like, is the game good? Spare a crumb, me lord. Yeah. Latest Underworlds article has War Scroll PDFs. Ooh, shall I click? Just a click, madam. And I know that the War Scrolls are in Giga, which I will be looking at in a second. I'm just going to read their little article about it. Dance with the Exiled Dead in the depths of the Nether Maze and on the battlefield. What kind of heinous acts would you have to commit to evoke the disgust of Nagash himself? Asterisk. Well, just ask Dane Talos, the leader of the Exiled Dead, who was forced to flee the morbid halls of Nagashazar. Vampiric eccentric dabbles in some truly weird electro-necromancy in his Arco experiments, the Force dynamic, considered taboo, even in Shyish. It's time to find out what shocking deeds he's been brainstorming in the twisting depths of the Nethermaid. Now, this is boring to me. Usually, Underworld's warbands are pretty interesting. To me, this one falls flat. Boring out of 10. For a modern sculpt, I don't know. 2 or 3 out of 10. There just isn't anything interesting about this. And the Electro Frankenstein stuff, even on Big Arm Guy, is very pared back and not as extreme as I would like it to be. And dude boring. Also, zombies are just kind of boring overall, but that's probably my personal preference. 3 out of 10 at best on how this stuff looks. For me. Tay Barracuda beat up some Lumineth pretty boys last night with Boo Boys. Feels good. Nice. You played Lumineth against Nighthaunt. And you got to beat some up. I hope it was a fun game against a fun opponent. Oh, I got something in my nose. I used to have something in my eye. And it was super annoying before the stream. Perhaps we're getting a roller coaster ride. Also not a necromancer. Dude is a vampire with his mouth sewn shut. Oh, like Neo. Take that, Techless. The XL Dead is a large warband. Is it? Is 7 a lot of models for a warband, I suppose? Feels like they're normally 5, I guess. And though the individual fighters don't seem too impressive at first glance, they don't. They're more than the sum of their parts. Dane Talos and his apprentice Markov are the key here. Oh, they're talking about their abilities in the actual game, which I don't play and don't know anything about. Channeled dynamism. Oh, shit. 7's a lot. The largest is 9. All right. Big confirmed. We've checked the tapes. They're not alone in the battlefields of the Mortal Realms. Both new warbands for Nethermaze also have a free War Scroll for download. Oh, nice. Let's click enhance. Enhance. Where's the... Oh, here we go. And finally, enhance. Big-ish, could be bigger. All right, so Dane 220 points. 220 points for a battlefield role leader. Single unique, the unit's mostly taken as a set, although taken as a set. Each is a separate unit, each of these units. Okay. So for 220 points, you get some chaff, and then a hero. AoS content, it's been so long. It probably has been a while. But Games Workshop isn't doing me any favors over here. What am I supposed to play Diablo 2 all the time? I fucking wish. Instead I probably get to work, right? Anyway. 18-inch range, 2 attacks, 4s and 2s, -2/1. And the stave dynamic. 3 attacks, 3s and 2s, -2d3. This is like a decent bonk. As far as shitty wizard attacks on foot with 1-inch range that instantly die if they even smell combat. 3 attacks, 3s and 2s, -2d3 is like a decent bonk for a wizard, I guess. That's worth 5 points for me. It is a single spellcaster. 6-inch move, 4-up save is pretty decent for a wizard. Not that it matters too much. Each time the unit fights, after all of its attacks have been resolved, you can heal up to a number of wounds allocated to this unit equal to the number of wounds and mortal wounds caused by attacks made by this unit in that phase that were allocated to enemy units. Oh, okay. And it specifically fights. So I don't see this ever mattering. War to 5 up. Hey, okay. Alright. Now we're talking. Alright, remember when I said there used to be something in my eye? I would like to formally retract that statement. Damn. Anyway, I appreciate even shitty attacks because they're 18-inch range, and you can do something ever, right? Like, that's nice. 5 up ward, 4 up natural save. Possible he won't get killed by stuff. I need like an eye washing station in my house. At the end, terrible dynamism. At the end of the battle shock phase, if a friendly exiled dead unit is within 6, you can return 1 slain model to that unit, and they have no save, and there's 6 of them, so it'd be kind of a miracle if they weren't slain outright. To be TBH. Channel Dynamism is a spell that has casting value of 3. Wow, that's really easy. In a range of 6. Oh, that's really bad. Pick 1 friendly exiled dead unit wholly within range invisible. Until your next hero phase, the unit can run and still charge. But it has to be specifically these guys, who... One of them has a weapon, and the other ones have kind of weapon. So, Bonesaw, Pitted Halberd. Their attacks, I don't see much good about it. 4-inch move, 2 wounds, no save, 8 bravery. The unmodified hit roll for an attack made with an Arcano electric weapon is 6. It's 1 mortal wound. But the attack sequence ends. Well, this unit is wholly within 9 of a friendly Dane Talos. Bolt, Flash, Ion, and Coil have a ward of 5 up. Oh, they get a ward. Okay. I would pay 105 for this, but still probably not. It's 220.
Pop. Yeah.
All right. Good work. It's trash. Next. And by next, I mean I'm going to go into my science lab that I got in my 1-bedroom apartment, and I'm giving myself a sulfuric acid eye wash here. There is something in my eye, and it is, it's like a fucking Christmas tree over here. BRB. Please excuse me and enjoy, I don't know, shall we say a music video? All right. It's just never going to be fixed. This is my life now. This is it. I'll have shit in my eye forever. There's nothing there. I can't see anything. Every time I blink, it is a cheese grater on the surface of my eye. However, there's nothing. That's how bad this War Scroll is. Anyway, I think we're sticking around. Apologies about that one. Did somebody have a comment or question like before I had to suddenly leave? Let's see. Catching up on chat from when I was gone. No, not really. Okay. You scratched your cornea. No, it's in the corner. It's in the edge. The edge. Right in the corner. Nowhere near the cornea. Eye is designed to remove gun. Good one. Is it an American eye? Because then I don't know about that one. The corneria. Okay. Holding it closed and forcing yourself to look up, down, left, right in a circular motion. I know the plan. I know the scheme. That's what I've been doing. Besides trying to like see if anything is in there and kind of scrape out, I did the classic, you close your eyes, you move your eyes all around in circular patterns and stuff. It's supposed to like push stuff towards that area. Just didn't work out. I don't know what it is. My classic MO, it's failing me. Got any eye drops? No, I don't have any such thing. At this exact moment, I feel like I should, but I just don't. Remove the eye and clean it with alcohol? Yeah. remove the eye, put it in a little, your protein bottle that you take to the gym. Toss a ball bearing in there, just, so it shakes up real nice. Pop her back in. You'll be right as rain in no time. Yeah, it's a single caster. It's War Scroll spell bad. 5 up ward's pretty decent with a 4 up save and a ranged attack, I guess. These are like, little things though. You got casters that have like good things, I suppose it comes with its own chaff, but you can just pay for your chaff if you would like it. 3 out of 10. It's the best I can do. Here, resculpt eye with green stuff, acquire eye patch. Yeah. Type bigger so he can see it. Yeah, it's over. My editing career and typing career and reading stuff career is over. I can no longer see. What was supposed to be a nice little Gutbuster army suddenly received 2 very good offers, and now you're looking at having to paint almost 9,000 points of mixed guts and BCR. Damn, Sarkirius. Big army. But that being said, no, I did not say type. I was reading someone say type bigger. Please do not follow the advice. Sarkirius, hey, whenever a new battle tome comes out, surely you will have the units that are good, right? You'll just need to look at your shelf and take off the good stuff, right? That's the, I like that. That's the plan normally, or at least I think it is. Lord Whale redeemed hats off, sure. Maybe it's the hat. Maybe it's the hat. Maybe it was the hat all along. We'll see. Let's go Bipus. Who can say no to 8 unassembled Stonehorn Thundertusks and 20 Mournfang for $200? That's a lot of value. 8 unassembled Stonehorn. That's 1 of each that the range has available to it, and 3 of, well, in addition to 3 of whichever one you like the most. Anyway, it sucks. Next. Slink Skittershank. And unlike the Zombos, unlike the 2 or 3 out of 10 for modern sculpts, like unbelievably boring, just nothing going on, painfully boring even, the Skaven are sick. If I would rate them from a what they were trying to do and how well they succeeded standpoint, these are like 8.5 out of 10. Just great. Have basically no problems with them. And they're even a little more like realistically proportioned than the cartoony, T-Rex arm, T-Rex leg kind of thing of the old days. Yeah, just a huge success story. And down here, he's giving you the symbol. That's funny. Exile Dead has about 17 attacks, 12 of which do mortals on a 6. That's pretty decent. I disagree. But it's not 0 damage, right? It's not nothing. You like the cartoony nature of the medium old rats, to be honest? The new ones are too lanky? Oh, maybe my opinion is invalid because I'm not a Skaven player. Because, like, for me, I strongly dislike the cartoony medium style rats. I don't like them at all. I like the idea of them, but not really what any of them look like. But it doesn't matter what I like because I don't play Skaven. And so maybe opinion disregarded. Anyway, how much are these dudes? 225, and it's for 5 of them. Alright. 7 move, 5 wounds, 4 up save, which is very high for a nearly naked Skaven, but they're ninja Skaven, so I assume he's getting his save from how dexterous and agile he is. So my immersion is not broken. You can get a good armor save from more than just having big armor. We all know you can't have an opinion on an army if you don't own 10,000 points in it. Yeah, but I mean, fair criticism a lot of the times, but specifically, I guess I'm talking about target audience, right? Like, if you're making new rats, ideally they should appeal to people who are interested in new rats, right? And that's not me. But I happen to like them, so that's cool. Anyway, Eshin Toxins. If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made by this unit is 6, target suffers D3 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends. Oh, cool. There's a little bit of a like historical here where assassin types tend to deal D3s for damage in various ways in the game. And so this seems like this assassin rat is following through with that precedent. D3 damage on his shuriken. D3 damage on his wakizashi. Well, or actually it's serrated, never mind. Actual daggers. D3 mortal wounds when he poisons you. 6 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1. Alright. The classic assassin profile from back in the day. Ranged attacks are shorter range than I would like, and pretty awful on hits and wounds, no rend. But, I mean, you get to roll some dice, I guess, so that's nice. Running death. The unit can run and still shoot. Okay, but that's not really what I'm wanting him to do. Is this melee? Let's check the tapes. If the unmodified hit roll for an attack made by this unit is 6, just hit roll. So this stuff counts. Suddenly these are more fun. Because it doesn't matter that a 4 up is like what, a 1 in 4 chance. Like you have your opponent is gonna basically have to pass one save, and they will. But now you can at least proc the toxins off of it, which is kind of nice. Misdirection. If this unit is within 1 inch of a friendly Skittershank Claw Pack, at the start of the combat phase, the strike first effect applies to this unit. In addition, after this unit is fought, if it is within 1 inch of a friendly Claw Pack, it can retreat. Oh, cool. Retreat right away. Good ability. Misdirection, good ability. You do need your dudes, your puds here to survive, but I like how he can strike first and then immediately retreat. That's cool. I appreciate it. He's like so cheap that his stats don't feel like they're necessarily going to accomplish much. But Eshin Toxins seems fun. Running Death, Misdirection is good. So overall, this guy would be one of those like really fun foot hero assassin types. If that category in Age of Sigmar had any usefulness at all, which it doesn't. Overall, I like him, but I don't know what he's going to be exactly accomplishing. These are Eshin throwing stars. It ain't your mama's kunai. And then the claw pack. It's got a sling and a whole bunch of random different weapon types, which is always annoying. And just slows the game down for basically no reason when they're all like whatever. I guess obviously these are better than these, right? But The unmodified hit roll for an attack made by this unit is 6. Oh, nice. So they just have this too. That's great then. Nice, and it's a D3 as well. Twice as good as the zombie ones. Fuck my eye, dude. The pain. During deployment, instead of setting up this unit on the battlefield, you can place the one side and set it as infiltrating. When you would set up, dude, you can say that it will join this unit infiltrating the foe as a reserve unit. Okay. So that means, wait, does it say deploy or setup? When you would set up a friendly Skarschnicht during deployment, huh? Damn, it's during deployment. I was thinking like you could put these guys under the ground and then like during the game teleport this guy and then they pop out, but it looks like that's not the case. Of what use is this? Does Eshin have like ambush or deep strike ability? Normally? How would you deploy this guy differently? Besides like giving him a warp grinder weapon team or something, but even then you'd be setting him up not during deployment, so yeah, this is what not having dark mode does to him. God, it's so annoying. Manriki Gusari? I don't see any of those. I could look at their other pictures. I don't know if they had any chain weapons. Ahem. At the end of your first moon phase, you must set up this unit on the battlefield within 6 of a terrain feature more than 6 from all enemy units. Then if you join this unit in reserve... Oh, is it the other way around? If you would set up that, you can say that it will join this. And then, okay. Then if Slink join this unit in reserve... Oh, you can join him in reserve. I see. So you put them aside, and then you can... Where's the rule that says Slink can deep strike? Or be set up in deployment? Maybe Eshin just has this ability. Any Skaven players in the chat? Can Eshin just ambush or deep strike or something? There has to be something like that because it's nowhere on the War Scroll. And the way this is written strongly infers, I can strongly infer that they have to. They're like Moon Clan fanatics? Maybe that's it. Ahem. Eshin Deathmasters can hide in other units, and Gutter Runners, Elite Ninja Rats, have the same ish deep strike on your first movement phase off a board edge. Okay. Okay, so it's piggybacking on those rules then. Perhaps that rule is like keyworded or something. Maybe it's keyworded to Deathmaster. I can only assume. Anyway, they have somewhat of an ambush or a deep strike. Or a hide in some other unit and pop out ability. You're a new player, but Deathmasters can hide in any group of 5 rats or more. That's what I wanted to know, Z-Crag. I assumed there had to be something like that. I'm less familiar with Skaven gameplay than I was in the past. And also, Eshin is a clan that I don't know that I've ever seen anyone play. That makes sense. Like gits that are hiding in units or something like that. You think it's on the Deathmaster War Scroll and not a keyword? Oh, well then they really should have put it on this guy's War Scroll. Hey. You guys want to play the game where you look at something that is probably a mistake, and then you say, well, obviously this is just a preview of the new Skaven book coming this winter. And so it's like a window into what their rules will be. You know? Maybe that's it. Check the tapes? You know what? I have a button for this.
And we take a look at the tail of the tape.
Some of them may be involved with exotic stuff, like dark matter.
An ABC News brief brought to you by Michelob Light Beer. Now from Washington, Sandra Van Oker.
Now from Washington, Sandra Van Oger. All right, we're in. Ways of the Great Clans. All right. Each time friendly master clan model. Okay, Mulder. Eshin. If your army includes any Eshin clan heroes at the start of the first battle round before determining blah blah, you can reroll wound attacks. Alright. Master clan only, Scryer hero only. No command trait found. Verminaus, Molder, and Scully clan. Is that the end of the battle traits? Okay, so no battle traits for that one. What's this called again? Death Master. Oh, that really is what it is. Instead of setting up this model on the battlefield, you can place it to one side and say to set up it and hiding as a reserve unit. If you do at the start of a combat phase, you can set up this model within one of a friendly Skaventide unit. There's 5 or more models. And it wins characteristic of 1. If this model is not set up before the start of the 4th battle round, it is slain. Okay, so this is the paragraph that I would expect to be here, right? During deployment, instead of setting up this unit, which is these guys, you can say that it is infiltrating the foe as a reserve unit. So, like, we're in deployment right now. I'm about to use a drop to deploy the Claw Pack. I put them as a reserved unit. And then if you do so, when you would set up a friendly Slink Skittershank during deployment, you can say that it will join this unit infiltrating the foe as a reserve unit. Okay, so the it here is him, not that unit. So then you're going to put the hero off to the side. It's not that the unit is joining the hero. Usually that's how it works, and if you read it really fast, you might read it that way. But that's not how this one works. And then at the end of your first movement phase, you set this up somewhere, and then Slink shows up. So tapes checked. We pushed up our glasses and actually'd and read it fully on purpose. And it just looks like all of these always work so that the hero, you know, is the instigator and the people join him, but this one is just the opposite. His unit is the one that's doing stuff and he joins them, and so I see no rules inconsistency here. You just have to read it 3 times because it uses an opposite convention as anything else, even other death masters. Yeah, I blame this gigantic porcupine sea urchin inside of my eye right now. I blame that. Yeah, large print. Can we enhance again? Can we CSI enhance? You think what it is that this warband has its own unique deep strike rule, so you need the unit to be able to deep strike the hero? I mean, you could have written it on the heroes page, I think. Because you have to take both of them anyway. But, I mean, it doesn't not work, right? It works. 225 for this. I'm not feeling really happy about it. Any Skaven players in the chat that would play this? I don't know. I highly doubt it. But they look really cool. And so that's great. At least there's that. There's nothing redeeming about this to me. But at least these look cool. Yeah, 225 is nuts for essentially a melee zoomer squad that isn't particularly fast. Has a fun combat trick. Does okay damage against stuff. Procs mortal wounds. Bunch of attacks, right? 225, I don't know. I usually want synergy with my Skaven heroes. That might be the critical. They are probably better than this, though. Because just another cheaper wizard is instantly superior to Daintalos for the most part. But, like, I could see people almost convincing themselves to play it as a pet unit. You know, as their last 225 points in an army that's otherwise good. And they're just playing it because they think it looks cool and the rule is fun. That's nice. Be right back. Blowing my nose.
Hey, just wanted to see how that pause music was coming along. Now keep in mind, this is a movie tie-in video game from the Nintendo 64. Not looking for anything too crazy. What do you think about this?
Back. Oh yeah, Hades bring up a good point. I got an email this morning, and I was going to mention it, and I forgot until now. All Underworld warbands, I think all, or at least last seasons, or some season of them, are on last chance to buy. Get yours now, if you feel like it. Here's my sales pitch. Finally, Sly Thale, the Shade Stalker. They are $290. What is this? For 4 models? That's a lot. Their abilities must be nuts. This is like you could have taken a monster almost. Season 1 and 2, says Dr. Dark Match. Just the ones that don't sell cards. Oh, okay. And yes, they do that every season. It's a seasonal change thing. It's not like a... how do I put it? It's not unorthodox. Anyhow. Sly Thieler. Shade Stalker. He is a 6-inch move, 4-up save. Oh, they all got 4-up saves, huh? Just joined. How's the Skaven War Scroll? It is not great, but it's better than the Caster and Zombie War Scroll. It's a 225 point unit that's trying to spike 6s for D3 mortal wounds each. With a little bit of actually a fun combat trick. Mixed direction is fun on this guy. It's just, no synergy, kind of slow. DDE power. Like you're not exactly trying to spend 225 on something that does anything like this, but if you had 1,800 point army that was great, and you're like, okay, now it's time to add my cool pet unit that I just want to play with, and then the army is, you know, still 1,800 points of good stuff, I could almost see people convincing themselves to play it. That's whatever rating out of 10 you want to assign that whole paragraph to. I mean, there it is. Anyway, what do you do? 18-inch range, 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1/1. Not bad. It's something. You get to roll dice sometimes. And then 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, -1, 3. God damn. They're just giving everybody frost spears, aren't they? You know, frost spear on the mighty frost sword on Stonehorn is 3s and 3s, -1, 3. With 1 more attack. I look forward to the new Ogre book coming out and Frost Spear having like a 5 damage characteristic. That's going to be nice. Anyway, in your movement phase, instead of moving, you can say that it will teleport. If you do, teleport it. Alright, nice. Impenetrable Darkness. When this unit is more than 9 from all enemy units, the unit and friendly the Shadowborn units, wholly within 9, have a ward of 4 up. Oh, alright. 4 up against shooting, for all those shooting haters out there. Impenetrable Darkness is a good ability. Mask of Shadow Mirrors. At the end of the charge phase, you can pick one enemy unit within 3 of this unit and roll 2d6. If it exceeds the bravery... Oh no, it's automatically bad. Oh, it's bad, and there's nothing the rest of the sentence can do to save it, but I will read on... because maybe I'm wrong. The enemy unit cannot issue or receive commands until the end of that turn. Okay, well, you probably ended the sentence on the most powerful words you could find in the whole game. I still think it kind of sucks, but I mean, if you're going to give them essentially Roar, except more unreliable, like slightly less reliable Roar, except your opponent can't be in Hunters of the Heartlands for it, and if you happen to be fighting against the Destruction Army, the shit almost automatically works. Alright, well, I'll give it a please clap.
Please clap.
You know who has shit bravery? Skaven. Oh, that's true. It's not just Destruction Armies, it's also Skaven, yeah. Shadeborn. In your movement phase, instead of making a normal move or retreat with this unit, you can say that it will teleport. Okay. Everybody teleporting. So this guy's a Chad. He's got essentially a Frost Spear, except with 1 fewer attack. He has 3 dice to roll every time it becomes your shooting phase, which is not nothing. He has Idneth Deepkin ability, kinda, in that he has a 4-up ward against getting shot. He can teleport instead of move, and he has Roar. This is like a this is like Dark Elf Chad mode. This is Chaede, by the way, Chad. This guy's cool. His bros are not exciting because they don't do anything. And they count as a separate unit, so it's not like he can pass off damage to them or anything. Yeah, this shit is sick. I consider this thing, like, honestly, in a total vacuum, I consider it probably better than Roar, because in a total vacuum, so many people are in Hunters that you hardly get to use the fucking thing when it matters. But, then again, so many armies just have straight 10 braveries that if you happen to be playing against one, it's like you don't have this ability at all. which really sucks and makes it so swing. Like, depending on what army you happen to match up against, this thing is like either automatic against Skaven or Gits, or just never going to happen against every single demon army, almost every single undead army. You know, take your pick, Seraphon. But it works in the charge phases of the combat phase, which is a bonus. And you can't Hunters it. I feel like I can't judge this ability until you tell me who I'm playing against. And then how good it is really crystallizes after that exact moment. That being said, only 3 attacks. This dude, to be perfectly honest, is going to do maybe 3 damage in a combat. And his boys are going to do 1 or 2. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. But yeah, very, very, very low damage. Cool high damage number. Excellent abilities. But the meat, you know, if you open up what looks like the perfect burger and there's just like somebody cut a circle out of it and there's just no meat in there. And by meat, I mean damage. So yeah, 290, probably not. He has every ability that like a unit that does great damage is just fucking nutting over. Like, oh my god, the perfect delivery method for my amazing damage, except he doesn't have amazing damage. Because he has 1 cool weapon, and then his boys suck. And there's only 3 of them. I guess I'm conflicted about this one. I'm going to say conflicted out of 10. You're playing against BCR. If I'm playing against Beastclaw Raiders, then Mask of Shadowed Mirrors is as good as Roar. I would say, like, exactly as good as Roar, which, by the way, is very good. However, I'm not afraid of this unit at all, for the most part, because it can't do anything. Like, if I can't, I don't know. Maybe they're a facilitator. Maybe I'm just thinking about this the wrong way. It doesn't matter that they do 0 damage. What matters is, every time they move, they can teleport. It's 2 units, so you have 2 units that are teleporting anywhere, and so you can never leave your stupid objectives in the backfield, right? And then furthermore, this dude here is simply a buff piece. He is a synergy. He doesn't have synergy written on his war scroll, like use this command ability to do this or a spell or whatever, but if you want to kill some unit, you should charge this guy in, because then he's going to get Roar. And then your hammer unit, they're the ones who are going to kill the thing. It's just you brought this guy so that they can't all-out defense. And if I'm thinking about it like that, 290 still feels high. But you cannot deny the utility this thing brings. It's 2 different units going in 2 different areas, teleporting each of them every turn, being annoying, great positioning. And he brings Roar to the table, not so that he can do damage, because he doesn't really have enough attacks for that, but so that your hammer unit can do the great damage. I like him. 300 is a tall order for that, but I like it and it feels strong, and Dark Elves are going to be really fucking good when they come out. How do they compare to the other Warcry warbands? It's possible someone might play this. And I think people playing the other 2 would be either a mistake or like they know it. It's the best one out of the 3 for sure, by a long shot. That being said, it's also the most expensive. That's a lot of points, so that's what keeps me concerned here. But if you ignore points for a second and just look at what the War Scrolls do, like how good is this War Scroll? These are good. These are kind of fun, but I don't know if they're good. And these guys, I mean, I don't even want to use them as alternative sculpts because they look worse than the normal stuff you could be playing. Also, you don't know if this matters, but they are Hagnar. Yeah, I say Dark Elves over and over because I'm like thinking ahead to Malerian stuff, but these are actually Daughters of Cain. And I didn't want to bring this up because it's a bit of a buzzkill, but because they're Daughters of Cain, no one will ever play these. The shit that you're playing in Doc is so fucking amazing that something that is very, very good, but maybe a little expensive, is just not in the conversation. You can't afford it. You got to play your other stuff. But I think they're neat. It is okay to just be fun. Yes. It is okay to just be fun. However, I don't think it needs to be that kind of a dichotomy. I don't think I stand up on my soapbox and the American flag rolls down behind my back. I got that Citizen Kane projector. It is a false dichotomy, my subjects. You do not need to choose between fun and good. There is another way. Fun and good. Vote Heywoah. I'll tell you what you want to hear, regardless of how unrealistic actually causing it to happen is. Nanomachine's son. Fun plus good equals gun. Good one. I did say American flag, right? You posted the Warcry War Scrolls in Giga if you want to compare. The Warcry War Scrolls. What do you mean? What are these? Oh, I mixed up my side games. How could it be that my other eye has something in it now? It's multiplying. I have a fucking pine forest in rows appearing inside my brain. Alright. Take an eye bath? I don't own an eye bath. I don't have a flushing station or whatever that is. Does Games Workshop not want to force people to buy the side game to chase the meta? Clearly not. I mean, there's like a potential downside to that, right? I guess. It would be a little annoying in a sense if you felt like you always had to buy the next side game thing, not because the side game is fun. You don't give a shit about the side game. It's just every time they come up with a side game thing, it's overpowered in the real game. And so you're like, okay, I guess I'll buy this. And it's almost like an admittance at that point, or people, I think players could take it that way. That nobody cares about this side game, so they make them OP so that anyone buys them, right? It's kind of a little bit of a bad... They probably want people to buy the side game stuff if they really happen to like the side game stuff. And use them for conversion fodder. And they probably, well, okay, if we're being like really honest, the reason they make side games like this at all is because they're games of Warhammer that you can play for 1/5 the price and 1/3 the time and investment. And so you're like, oh, Warhammer, it's too big, it's too expensive, it takes too long. But I'll play Warcry. And then you do, and you play Underworld, and you get a bunch of stuff, and then you, like, fall in love with one of the factions, and eventually, well, you got some units in there anyway, I might as well in for a penny, in for a pound, and then suddenly you're playing the the big game and buying a whole bunch of stuff. I think that's the road they want you to drive down. GD Panda, you're absolutely right. I do need the Doom 2 super shotgun sound. Yeah, I gotta add some more sound effects, huh? Shadowstalkers have more models and have the teleport ability and only cost 120. What am I looking at? Unit size 9, 120, 165. Cursed Missiles, bad. Assassin's Blades, bad. Umbral Blades, not bad. One model has Umbral Blades and the rest have the bad ones. And it's a unit of 9 for 120, and they have the teleport ability. Where's the... I see the first two, but where's the actual abilities on here? Thanks for posting, though. Boy, do they look similar. You know what I mean? Heywoah shower stream at 300 dono. Yeah. Oh, I can't pull that one off. The ban in the Giga. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Okay, all right. We got the third and most important piece here. So teleport instead. 1 mortal wound and subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made with melee weapons to target this unit. Okay. So essentially, this unit here is pretty much the same as that other one, except it costs 120 instead of 290. But the 291 has the ability that's the best, has the roar thing. And technically it's 2 units, and I think this is 1 unit. So for being 2 units instead of 1, and having essentially roar except sometimes better and sometimes worse, you're paying 170 points for that. Which is like almost fair, because that's really good. It kind of is that much better. Now this one has 9 dudes instead of 4. Is roar and split worth 170? Yes and no. It is that much better. But I don't know if I'm trying to spend 300 in a daughter's army on almost anything that isn't already in my list. Would I spend 290 for that thing in like Beastclaw Raiders or something like that? Still probably no. I just think 290 is too much. So long story short, 2 units that teleport every time they move, plus better than or worse than roar. Is that worth 170? Maybe. But it's not worth 290. And I don't think you're getting much over 170 worth out of it. And I don't know that I would take either of them. 120 free teleport though. The price is right on these guys if what you want to do is teleport and be at -1 to hit, and then sometimes sprinkle some mortal wounds if you ever end up getting into combat. Oh, not combat, sorry, cursed missiles, but it's 6-inch range, so kind of in combat, yeah. $120 is good for what these guys do. 290 is struggling to be worth it for what the other guys do, but what they do is really good. So there is that. There's that stuff. Cities used to take these dudes a lot because they were cheap, could teleport and grab an objective. Yeah. They had the old, like, Elven sculpt. They used to run, like, tens of them. Like, 1 unit of 10, sometimes 2 units of 10, although that was a lot. Shadow Warriors, I think they were called. In the olden game, that was an excellent unit. I think they had a little longer ranged attack. The game was way more about just securing all the objectives and almost nothing else mattered. And so things of that nature back then were more valuable than they are now. But it's good. And I could see people playing them. Did you miss the Skaven? Unfortunately, you did, Vince. Apologies. However, I'll give you the real quick recap. All right? Live Twitch acting. I haven't seen these before. It's the hot shit.
Please clap.
They look great. I'm so pleased by these sculpts and everything. I even like what I don't normally like, which is them standing on tactical crap. I actually like this stuff. Not so much this one. Okay, I don't like the puff of smoke if I have to be critical about something. But to me, these are like the Chaos Warrior upgrade, you know? Where they take a really old model, make it look modern, and basically hit a home run. I like everything about it. I even like, and apparently some Skaven players aren't happy with it, because I've seen some people in the chat, they don't like how anthropomorphized they are. Their proportions make a little more sense, like longer limbs and stuff. I actually really like that a great deal. And some of the Skaven people I've talked to really don't like that. They rather preferred the cartoony, Cabbage Patch looking stuff from the middle era. Not the old stuff, but middle one. Anyway, this is the shit. And it's awesome. What a faithful up to a point, and then look at all these fun poses. Sculpt-wise, awesome. Rules-wise, I think they go squarely in the yeesh. That's kind of expensive, and they don't do a lot that you really want. But if you have an 1,800 point army that's great, you can very easily convince yourself to just play them. And it's probably fine. And even if you don't, the conversion fodder is strong. Who didn't like these? I don't know. Some Skaven people liked the old cartoony ones. And I don't mean old. I mean middle old. Because I think that's what they said. And I'm not a Skaven player, so I'm not the target audience. And so the fact that I really, really like them is at least slightly irrelevant. Because if the people who play the army aren't happy, then that sucks, right? However, capturing new people to be impressed by them is also important. Where were the war scrolls? So you can very quickly go over it here. Oh, you meant war scroll wise? Yeah. I think I covered everything. Misdirection is cool. This ability is fun and actually kind of good. And everything just does like D3s. You're trying to proc D3s over here. You're procking D3s over here. If you don't proc D3s, it does D3s. It's fun out of 10. And this ability is cool. Is it 225 worthy? No. But it's possible it could be like pet unit status. Like I can... Okay, I just played the good stuff for 1,800 points, so now I can play these as a treat, as a reward. Maybe you could do that. Skaven have some pretty extreme buffs, although I'm not sure, I can't recall what keywords can get what. You might be able to do something useful. if you buff up those guys enough. I'm not saying it's impossible. Nobody likes the monkey rats. I don't think anybody was defending the monkey rats. Even the people who had some problems with the new ones, they were talking about the middle old ones, not the old ones. They were talking about Skaven in general, I think. And I've been fighting a battle with something scraping my iris all morning here. And it will not cease. It just won't end. The suffering of life. My Achilles eye. I'm sorta tasty says, oh, first time chatter, nice. Do you think Skaven will be the next Chaos Battletome? Yes. However, please understand that this is my source for that information.
Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
But I do think Skaven is the next one. You're building out your Scryer Skaven army, but you think the 3 clan rats tax for mixing is stupid? Yes. Thoughts and prayers. And I hope you get what you want when and if the new Battletome comes out, which you can expect what? In the next 2, right? Right after that. And by expect, I mean you can expect to be filled with hopium for it to maybe be Skaven, but it also might be Khorne. And it also might be something else. But I think Skaven, it's a guess. Don't quote me on it. And it's always hard to predict what's coming next from Games Workshop, even when they tell you something is coming. Because they'll throw you curveballs. Like multiple Daughters of Cain books over and over and over, multiple Lumineth books over and over. Do not put it past them to just re-release something they released last year with 17 armies waiting for longer behind it. Ahem. However, I think it's the next one. I mean, the truth is out there. Yeah, Vince Venturella very diplomatically said, one would expect the next Battletome to be Skaven, and one would expect that it doesn't have that goofy battle line requirement. The difference between expect and hope is, a matter of personal perspective. But I'm there. Patiently waits in Flesh Eater Courts? Yeah, I mean there's a bunch of armies that are patiently waiting. There were pics of repacks going around too. Yep, saw that. How long do you think it'll be until GHB 2022? Oh gee, well it usually comes out around the early summer, right? Is that generally the area that it tends to get released during? I don't know if we ever have GHBs that are coming out in winter and stuff. And it being April, man, the next few months maybe. By few, I mean 1 to 3. Please no Acolytes. You converted the Blood Bowl team rather than pay 18 per model. Yeah, 18 per model on Acolytes is a tall order. For sure. I'm trying to think if I've seen anyone play an army in real life that had real Acolytes in it. And not recasts that they made themselves at home by making a mold out of one they bought, buying a bunch of clan rats or plague monks and putting little circles of green stuff in their hands, so on and so forth. I mean, it is some kind of flex, though, having, Like, person shows up with units of 20 acolytes, and you pick one up, and you're like, this is metal. They're all metal. Jesus Christ. Did you just check your imaginary watch? I've never worn a watch. It hangs on your wrist. You get that little like watch sweat going on underneath it. It's just uncomfortable. Some people use watches as bling, but I think they don't even look that impressive or they're a bit gaudy. Even normal watches. And then also, don't you guys have phones? You know that's a clock, right? And one that syncs up with satellites that use Einsteinian metal, right? Einsteinium to get perfect time. So it's something that you already have. It's like in the year 2022, like having a calculator in your pocket. Why? You have a phone. The tasteful thickness of it, yeah. You just picked your watch back up from the watchmaker a few minutes ago. So happy to have it back, yeah. Give it a big old hug. Really pulled it, don't you all have phones? Yeah, that was the joke. Have you ever seen someone wearing a watch and had any positive or negative opinions on it from a status or fashion or anything standpoint? Yeah. But let's see. If I see someone wearing a watch, it's neutral. I have a neutral opinion about that person. It doesn't tell me enough. I'm not about to leap to any crazy conclusions here. Like, oh, this person doesn't own a phone or blah, blah. I'm not. That's a bit of overreach. A whole lot of people inferring stuff like that is just like giga projecting, and it's just silly, right? That being said, if they have an expensive watch, I think, oh, so this person wastes money. This person has so much money that they can afford to waste some of it. That's how I feel about people with expensive watches. I'm still neutral though. I don't think it's like a negative. I don't negatively think about that. Maybe if someone had a watch that was 100% covered in diamonds, like the entire thing and the band, right? Just only diamonds. And then, huge, shiny god. Then it's like, it seems to me like a desperation, please, oh, please, God, would someone pay attention to me kind of call for help. And that maybe would be a negative there. It's 5 a.m. You got to head to bed. Hey, that's when I went to bed. 5:31 a.m. See you next time, Hades. Dude, there's something in my eye that is annoying. Jacoby, I appreciate the 1776. Thanks for the nanomachines. TYVM.
Don't fuck with this, Senator. Nanomachine son.
Nanomachines, son. Did you have a comment? Tell time with nanomachines? Hey, good advice. Good advice. Thanks a lot. I appreciate the nanomachines. Hey, just for that, you know what? Sneak peek. Did you know that I was streaming in Discord yesterday? That's right. I did a private stream only for flats. And by flats, I mean anyone who happens to be in my Discord. Yesterday. Unannounced. It was in the morning. I was editing up something for YouTube. And I'm like, hey, I bet somebody here is drinking coffee, has nothing better to do than watch me alt-tab between After Effects, Premiere, and Photoshop for like an hour. And they got a sneak peek at new Heywoah content. So people who aren't in the Discord get fucking owned. Also, it might happen in the future. I can show you the fruits of that labor. One of them, did you miss that? You did, and there are no VODs for Discord. It's just live, baby. New shirt concept. Sent this one off to the printers. What do you think, Bateman? Wah, wah. Anyway, in like a week or two, I'm going to get this shirt in the mail and I'm going to check its quality. And if it is good, you yourself can get one. Please enjoy. By the way, the kanji down there, well, not kanji, but well, it's a mixture, but the Japanese text underneath Heywoah. Can anyone read Japanese? Do you get the joke? Any Japanese speakers in the chat? I'm just curious. What does the Japanese say? I will tell you, but I want to see if there happens to be any bilingual folks here. Adam Ralt thanks for the tier 1. I appreciate it. Thanks for the 9 months. That's pretty big, true. And thanks for the sub and the comment. LMAO, the Japanese. Shin Ramen. There's a shirt or a poster. It is a shirt. All right, the default text, they definitely read Japanese and wasn't just there for the Discord call. Yeah, so it says Japanese words. And I don't mean that in the normal sense. I mean literally it says Japanese words. Nihongo no something. I can't remember what the word for words is. And so if you're sporting this shirt and walking around and you happen to pass, yeah, Kotoba. If you happen to pass somebody who's Japanese, they're going to either laugh because they get the joke, or they're going to laugh because they think that some Japanese person like trolled the person who was making the shirt. One of the two. And so it'll be good. Shin, yeah. Shin Heywoah, yeah. Incredible. Meme baked into the shirt, 5 out of 7. Yeah, and it's got a little bit of an Akira look to it as well. Anyway. Please enjoy. If when I receive the shirt, the print quality seems okay.
Relaxing. Kind of invigorating. Everybody doesn't appreciate it like we connoisseurs do.
Some Norwegian dude, thanks for the connoisseur. That shirt design, thanks for the $10, dude. You could have saved that $10 and then bought a shirt in 2 weeks for $20, but I appreciate the donation anyway. Drifting on a Thundertusk, yeah. I also made a little like 10-second outro for Clip Channel. And the return of the Clip Channel. All of this, it's like it's the White Squall doing the most overpowered army of all time tournament, recording a bunch of matches for it, finishing up every army in 16 minutes version 3, or 20 minutes is probably going to be, or longer. Making a YouTube video out of that tournament, finishing this shirt design to put that live, Clip Channel. It's all going to coalesce at the same time, ideally. This is the goal, the marketing goal. It's got merch coming out, 2 big YouTube videos, Clip Channel, all
Twitch Prime.
At about the same time in a month or so. Frank on the Rocks, thanks to the big primer. Appreciate it. Heywoah Plus content. We're revitalizing it. It's been in a coma. We will wake it up. The Heywoah Plus content YouTube channel has been in a coma, and then it just heard Mr. T talking in the ICU, and it woke up. It smelled the smell of hot wings, and the coma fully back. Brain activity 120%. Hats off, sure. I'll switch to big for this one. Anyway, I was making this that morning, and so check out the rough cut. 10-second stinger at the end of the video. You know how they have those. Now I got one. Also, if you want to see all the different parts of it that I laid on top of each other, enjoy this version. And then it all falls apart. Alright. Hey, I hope you enjoyed. It's a bop. And I checked the legality on that. I uploaded a video with the N64 music, but didn't publish it. I just like uploaded it and set it to private, and had the robots try to scan it. No copyright detected. So apparently the N64 music is copyright free. Got him. Heywoah Plus took its vitamins and said its prayers. Yeah. Yeah. Now that we're getting Heywoah Plus content, what's our roadmap on Heywoah minus content? I don't think one man can be in control of both. It's like particle and anti-particle. They'll destroy each other if they ever meet. It bounces out to 0, which is the number of my uploads recently. So maybe the Heywoah minus was inside of all of us the whole time, or at least very recently. Trying to get on the upper end of it. Yeah, how the sausage is made. .mp4. Proper audio level of Fire Slayer VOD exporting now through Premiere, plus Rise from Your Grave. Yeah, less than 1 meter. Very good one. Very good. Yeah, there will be full VODs available on Heywoah Plus, YouTube, and clipped segments regularly, courtesy of SJ Arcade, who also streams on Twitch. BT the way. Heywoah out of context. But please don't do that to me. Out of context clips can be funny and everything, but I implore you not to just like chop up my sentences and be, you see a clock behind me and the hands are spinning all over the place and I'm saying some ridiculous shit. Spicy stuff I guess is fine, but allow me to explain myself in them. You need a 10-hour YouTube video with Heywoah saying Giets. Alright, well, just put that on loop. I don't know if that's worth uploading for 10 hours exactly, but... Alright, I was going to do a whole bunch of Age of Sigmar tournament stuff. And I still might, but this fucking... Every time I blink, it is a cheese grater against my eye. I don't know if I'm trying to sleep this off or what. Anyway, is Vince still in the chat? Vincey V, my dude. I was going to send you a message on Facebook, but I deleted Facebook like 6 months ago. And my life has noticeably improved, by the way. I can still kind of read the messenger things, but only on my phone, not on desktop. But I can't, like, do Facebook normally. I don't know what Tom Lyons' schedule is, or your schedule, or some other people you know from those chats, those chats. But if anybody is interested in playing some old, gross hotness, I'm not saying this tournament feels like it was designed with Tom Lyons exactly in mind or anything, but, like, if any people like that might be interested, this tournament will be online. Schedule very accommodating to whomsoever. We're just going to record them. Not all of the matches will be live. Potential lists, or remember this thing that everyone forgot about that was, I don't know. Perhaps if you could spread the word a little bit, I would appreciate it. Or even yourself, I don't know. Just because we're playing the most grossly unfair armies of all time doesn't mean we're not going to be chaps about it. I feel like the possibility for bad feelings, comes about generally with a mismatch of expectations. Or at least maybe that's a way that we can curb that. The whole point is everyone is grotesquely unfair. And we're more like scientists doing an experiment and chuckling to each other at the ridiculous things that are happening, more than like, I need to win this tournament. But then everyone's playing armies that are the most I need to win this tournament that there ever were. So I think it should be fun. I might be limiting it to 1 or 2 players of each quote-unquote army. So that I can do a round robin, because I feel like playing them against all of them is going to give us a better, well, okay, a better video when I do a video on it, because that's the whole point of this whole thing. But what I'm trying to figure out is what is the best overpowered army of all time, not which of the best armies of all time can get lucky matchups and dodge their hard counters on the way to, like, you know, getting first place. I want to collect data, and so I can't have like 50 people in this tournament. Anyway, TY. Thank God for TTS. Yeah, we could not do this in real life. Some people could, but I didn't go to Adepticon because of COVID. And then everyone I was going to go to Adepticon with, including Andrew Yells, whom I was going to split a hotel room with, got COVID. So to me, like, in-person events are still a bit off the table. In any case. AoS busted rules tournament, yeah. We got some notes for rules and stuff, and I'll have the pack all written up. There will not be an overall for this one, nor paint judging, also because it's TTS. But yeah, parried COVID, right past, full Neo. Your minis are all the company you need. Good one, Mr. Runaway Train. Yeah, keep your distance from other humans. Keep your friends close, but your miniatures, your magic cards, and your waifu is closer. All right? Wisdom.
Pop? Yeah.
Have you reviewed the new... Yeah, we did. Wild Thing. Apologies that you missed it. It happened in the first hour. Keep your distance from other... let's see. If it was IRL, you're not buying a first edition jank list for this. Yeah, and I wouldn't expect people to. I bet there are people that still own theirs from back in the day, and they're just like sitting on a shelf, but... you know, we're scientists over here. I had... what's his name? I keep saying his fake name, first letter of each word switch name so many times that I forget his real name sometimes, and I don't know which one is which anymore. But catch the VOD on Heywoah Plus soon. Yeah, you gotta wait 24 hours apparently, but that's fine. Are we doing soft scores like monsters killed? No. No, there won't be soft scores for this tournament. Because it's, at its core, simply not what we're trying to determine with this scientific experiment. I will be, hey, I got a speech. I'll be giving the players a speech before their games in the tournament, you know, about sportsmanship and fair play and stuff. Because to do otherwise would poison the data. Like, we're trying to find the truth here. And I think people are understanding that ASMR sprue clipping, yeah. Painting and sportsmanship prizes for sure. Nah, that's not what we're about here. For a big tournament that historically hugely favors the hobby and sportsmanship side of the game more than the exactly winning, that's maybe done that for 6 or 7 years, even just in Age of Sigmar, much less before that, then yeah, painting and sportsmanship should probably be a big deal, and your overall should be the thing that you care about the most, because that's entirely what your tournament is about. But for us, for what we're doing here, this is science. This is data. Old Wrathmongers, please hate yourself rules. Yep. You play in a snapshot of time with your army list, and the rules it used in the edition that it was under. And then it's up to us, once we get everybody's lists and stuff, and by us I mean basically me and possibly a mod or two that happened to play back then. We're going to figure out a way to do this with your 3rd edition Sentinels versus 1st edition Cow Ruck or something, you know, whatever. Vanguard Wing. Corn Labs has it ready. Yeah, and also we have acquired a bunch of the ancient rule books from back then, so we can check the tapes. And I will be posting a link to that, a centralized link for people to get, so that they too can have those rules as they're making their lists and doing research. And I think this is okay because none of these are sold anymore. They are not for sale. You cannot buy them from Games Workshop. And so, I'm not a bird lawyer, but I feel like that kind of downloading is fine. The sacred texts, yep. Sportsman scores aren't in the tournament? No. You will not be scoring your opponent based on sportsmanship. You will be adhering to sportsmanship as a rule. You will not be scoring your opponent on it. You will simply be following it. You know, like a tournament. You can discuss bird law. All right. Anybody have a thought right now? If the metagame is most overpowered army of all time, played under its own rules against opponent playing under their own rules, surely a metagame is going to come about, right? What do we think could win, or is in the conversation, or it's a hot take to even mention it, but actually it's pretty good if you think about it, something like that? Cunning Ruck is a good call out, and its various forms, Cow Ruck, etc. Cunning Ruck was just really good, and they started mixing it with a bunch of stuff just to figure out what was going on, right? Goutfire meme, potentially. Change host. Vanguard Wing, the one that literally breaks the game. Change it, yeah. Oh, Slanesh, the first book, pre-FAQ, Infinite Summon Works, Fight Last Law, OG Grizzlegore, Fight First Forever, All Ardboy All the Time, 2nd edition? Okay, I'll put it in. Bell plus Kairos. Did we check the tapes on that SJ Arcade? Was Bell plus Kairos ever actually playable in the game when it had points? I remember hearing about it when I first started, but I don't think it was ever actually legal when the game had points and the GHP was out. I think there was never a point in time where it was. And so it has to be disqualified. I'm less interested, and so here's my speech about that. I am less interested in what theoretically could have been the best list if you come down on the overpowered side of unanswered questions that were instantly FAQ'd, you know? And I'm thinking about stuff like running with 8 metal crunchers in BCR for that period of 2 weeks when that was an open question. I am more interested in what was the best army, the most OP army of all time that people actually played, right? That people brought to tournaments. Maybe everybody says it should get nerfed, but it was brought to tournaments. It was a real thing. It was part of the metagame. People played it, and it won a lot. Not some theoretical, what if the overpowered unanswered question was just yes every time and no one actually did it. And there wasn't the time when the game had points and anyone actually played the thing. And so Bell plus Kairos fails on 2 counts. 1, it was never actually playable when the game had points, and therefore it wasn't an army. And 2, nobody actually took it to events and won with it. Because it was just like a theoretical question that obviously every TO at the time would just say no to, and probably did. And 3rd, and here's the prepare your bowels for imminent release, okay? You want the hottest take? 3rd, that army wouldn't even win. It wouldn't even win this tournament. Because deterministically winning the game requires you to have taken a turn with Kairos Fate Weaver or the Screaming Bell alive. And some of the armies I'm thinking about wouldn't give you that chance. They would automatically outdrop you, decide to go first, and kill either Kairos or the Bell. And then your army is shit. And so even if we let it in, it would lose to half of the Alpha Strike armies in this entire metagame automatically. It would just auto-defeat everybody who can't Alpha. And furthermore, it was never really legal, and no one ever played it. And so get shit on. But I will probably have a foreword about it in the video. And there's the hot take for the evening. LVO Living City and current Cabbage Pigs. You're sure someone wants Oops All Dragons? I mean, we could toss some modern stuff in here, right? IDK Eels, actually, because it's, I think, with double boaties. IDK Eels with double boaties at their most powerful I think they could hang with the best of all time. Their strategy is very strong. They could do it, perhaps. I'm willing to put them on the list somewhere. This is an unorganized list. Ahem. Paying your Black Phyrexian mana to surgically extract the 2-card combo. Yeah, that's kind of what it's like. I'll surgical extract that. I'll mental misstep it. I will mental misstep your mental misstep. I'll force that. Dazed. Got him. All right, win the game. I mean, we could throw some modern stuff in here as well. Oh yeah, I wrote Clowncar. True Clowncar from back in the day. I mentioned that in the tweet, but I didn't put it here. Can't cross that one out. Actually, hold up. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this wise. We'll go faction by faction and be like, was there ever a greatest army of all time in here? Cities of Sigmar, probably not, but there's famous things, I guess. You know, original Hallowheart bridge shooter guys, or, Living City with things that happen to have, shooting profiles, things like that. I don't know if anything in Cities is greatest of all time. It's just like the things cities have been doing for most of their first and second edition when they were a thing was just being very good. Any Seraphon? Arguably yes. We could go Croaknado. We could bring in the old Croaknado. Yeah, and Cities of Sigmars were always great players winning, with tuned meta lists because the army had a huge, essentially a huge grab bag of silver bullets they could bring out to just be good against whatever meta you were expecting. Yeah, original Balewind back on the menu. Croaknado could be a thing. Daughters of Cain. Controversially, no. I don't think anything Daughters of Cain doing is the greatest of all time. It's just always really good. It's apparently illegal for this army to be even just good. It always has to be great or stellar at all points, at all times, no matter what. But overpowered of all time? No. Not if you're a half-decent player and can just kill Marathi over the course of a few phases and stuff. Turns. Fyreslayers, depending on what metagame arrives, they could actually be really good. Fyreslayers have been extremely strong in the past. Sometimes I would even call them top 3 at certain parts of the history. It's just no one ever played them. Arguably, they were not fun to play. Certainly not fun to play against. But you gotta... The only way Fyreslayers get in here is if they're like magically really good against really OP stuff, and I don't see that. IDK Eels at double Bodies. Yes, I think IDK might be there. Or at least they can hang. Clown Car. We could just throw Sentinels in there, like raw meat to a pack of lions. If we felt like it. But Lumineth was never really the best. Even in its own time. Top 6 maybe. Seraphon, maybe Croaknado. Stormcast Eternals, Vanguard Wing. Has anything else that Stormcast has ever done been impressive at all? Stormcast has always been, without being disrespectful, kind of not great. For most of Age of Sigmar, Stormcast has been kind of not great. At times even downright bad, I would say. Vanguard Wing was breaking the rules of the game, but, you know... Is it going to win against people, or is it just breaking the game? That's kind of the question. Right exactly now, I think Stormcast are probably the best they've ever been, except for Vanguard Wing. And you're probably better just playing the good stuff from Stormcast than a Cities army. Sylvaneth, technically yes, but only against some people. Like, remember the original Mega Battalion 1-drop when nobody else could really do that? Their gameplay was very deterministic at a certain point in time, where they would automatically choose who went first. They would automatically create Wildwoods. They would automatically teleport to them and position their guys in such a way so that you couldn't really do much about it. And if you were a certain type of army, red, about 70% of all armies, you didn't actually need to play the game depending on the battle plan because they just statistically won and they didn't even roll a die yet. But, at the time, if you were an army that could just fucking kill Sylvaneth units, which was maybe 30% of them at the time, then it was almost like nothing the Sylvaneth player could do about it. And I don't know if I'm going to find a perfect player Sylvaneth guy. Only people like that were deterministically winning, like, on deployment against people back in the day. So, honestly, I'll put a question mark there, but probably still no. Old Sylv with perfect play on some battle plans, but prob not against these armies. Heavily asterisked on that one. But I remember them being, I remember playing against them back in the day with Beastclaw, although Beastclaw really sucked back then, so maybe my opinion has been shaded by that. But looking at the table from a Magic player's perspective on deployment, I'm like, well, he can do this, he can do that, he can do that, he can do that. None of it requires any dice rolls, and I actually can't beat it, no matter what I do or how well I roll. And then they do, and I'm just like, okay, well, yeah, I think you got me, actually. Old Petrifex OBR, literally worse than old Fire Slayers, who themselves probably don't make the list. Old Petrifex OBR was casual players whining about not being able to outplay people. That being said, it was pretty good, but I don't think it scratches the surface of a list like this. Beast of Chaos. No. I mean, you could do like a alpha shoot, desolating beast herd, 60 Ungor Raider kind of, or maybe whatever the 26 Skyfire thing when they were like 120 points or some nonsense undercosted. I guess you could do that if someone wanted to. I don't know how great it was though. The shit did well in like 2 tournaments and then it got blown off the face of the earth by an FAQ change. BOC is the best it's ever been right now. No, the Skyfire thing was way better than this for its time, relatively speaking. But yeah, I don't think it touches anything. Blades of Corn. You had that run across the table and burn objectives thing on that one battle plan that people were scared of in first edition, but I don't think that cuts mustard nowadays. You have the old, fights first on your Bloodthirsters because of that crown or the choker or whatever thing had. That shit probably sucks. Maybe Bloodletter Bomb on 25s if we want to really, like, do that. Just a billion mortal wound. Yeah, maybe. I'm throwing him a bone, alright? Corn, surprise me. And also, you get to pretend like you're the underdog here. Without actually being the underdog, but you get to pretend. Coin Lab begins to churn. Yeah. Oh, just to remind people, in case you forgot, that whole things proc on a natural 6-up? That was a change. It used to not be like that. It used to be, if you procced a mortal wound on a 6, but you got +1 to hit, it would proc on a 5. And if you got another +1 to hit it, it would proc on a 4, etc. I might point to Bloodletter Bomb as one of the main reasons why they changed that eventually. So, anyhow. Slanesh, after the first book, of course. Summoning a Keeper of Secrets for free every turn if you want. Fighting first all the time. Anything the opponent kills, you replace and then some. Or you're playing against 1 wound guys and your army is just good instead of insane. Totally matchup dependent, gonna be really weird, but was obscenely overpowered. Nurgle, maybe Plague Touched Warband is the only thing that comes to mind. And that wasn't really overpowered, it was just fucking annoying. If you think that the metagame is going to be a bunch of Glass Cannon Alpha Strike, maybe just play Plague Touched Warband and Fire Slayers and just accept the hits and then kill people. Like maybe it's a counter meta choice. Yeah, I really can't think of anything besides that. 2 questions. Can anyone think of anything besides that? And was Plague Touched even worth mentioning? Or am I just remembering how annoying it was? I seem to recall Vince has some deep memories about it. Maybe best left unearthed. Well, unearthed? Oof, the syntax. I'm deleting Fire Slayers. Not proactive enough, actually. Just chill on objectives probably can't cut it, but Plague Touched was insane because it was an Alpha Strike army. It just locked you in your deployment zone forever, instead of kill you. But it had the alpha power. Fire Slayers has 1 Deep Strike. Remember Sail the Faithless? Oh yeah, Sail the Faithless. That what was so good about Sail? Did she have that teleport that you could move after, or maybe it was a like increase something's movement by 1,000,000? Was it a prayer or a spell? It's been too long. I remember Sail though. It was the teleport. Third is the only armies with coherency. Yeah, and that's a big. I mean, that's going to mean the 3rd edition armies suck on the face of it. But they do get stuff in exchange. So, 3rd edition armies are trash because coherency, Holy Within fucking everywhere, no spaghetti stringing your guys out, shit like that, right? Only use 1 command ability once, right? Stuff like that. So, like, these are the reasons why 3rd edition armies are going to be trash in this tournament. However, they get big bonuses. For instance, they have responses like redeploy and shoot you if you charge them. They got finest hour, roar, monster actions. They have probably 10 extra points for free during the course of the game because they're going to be using battle tactics and 1st and 2nd edition armies aren't. And so if you're trying to win on points against the 3rd edition army, you're going to struggle because they get free points fucking everywhere. And so does that balance out? Are they still trash? Are they overpowered now? Kind of depends. In fact, I would say all your free victory points and literally just roar are enough to make you downright overpowered against a lot of 1st and 2nd edition armies. Maybe too much. If you happen to roll a roar against fucking whatever, Ardboy Cloud orcs or something, and they just simply can't use command abilities, Like, what are you gonna do if they're ones that you happen to use during the combat phase? I guess. Oh, maybe Rory isn't that good because it's combat phase for those, and depending on what edition and type of army you're doing, you're using all your ones in other phases or the hero or something. So actually, maybe it requires more thought. You'd like to see old Fire Slayers, the best immovable object. Do you think that would be interesting? Don't know if it would stack up. I mean, I'll put it in. I'll put it in. I certainly couldn't beat it with Beast Claw back in the day. I spent 4 full turns sending my entire army against 1 unit of Hearthguard Berserkers. And at the end of the game, my entire army was dead, and I had killed 3 models. So, Skaven have some shit, right? You could fully meme. I already put it on here. You could entirely meme and do the Goutfire Scorch thing with that Mega Battalion, where you null deploy most of your army, and then you set it up, if you wanted to, I think within an inch or something. You could set it up in normal deployment, like Deep Strike, or you could set it up closer if you wanted to, like, take mortal wounds or something. And then just throw 50-something mortal wounds at someone's army, and there's almost no way they can deploy to stop you from doing that. And if you can weather that storm, you win almost automatically, and if you can't, you lose almost instantly without much rolling. So if you want to truly flip a coin to win, Goutfire might be a decent meme. Is there another Skaven thing that gets close to that, or maybe gets close to this list? Maybe a bunch of Plague Monks, because they were so good. Fight when die units of 20 that almost don't even need buffs, and they're just shitting things at you forever. You play so many of them. You can make them Deep Strike if you want, although then you have to play Clan Rats. I don't know if that's quite good enough, the Plague Monk thing. Maybe... I don't even think honorable mention. They were very good, but we're not talking about very good. We're talking about broken. Although shoutouts to Warpseer for being literally immune to damage back in the day when you could stack stuff and reroll stuff. Slaves to Darkness. Nope. Flesh Eater Courts, Old Grizzlegore as the popular pick. Flesh Eater Courts has had a storied history. They were... When I started playing, people were arguing whether Flesh Eater Courts or Beastclaw Raiders was the worst army in the game that had special rules. And then Grizzlegore came out. And then it got nerfed, and now we're at today. It's been a roller coaster of emotions for Flesh Eater Courts. It'd be strange to have this without Archaon in some form. I mean, we could do the Tzeentch Archaon list, right? To just auto-kill stuff. I think it's possibly an honorable mention, even. Tzeentch Archaon in whatever best form it had, maybe. I feel like people would rather play Change Host. Well, maybe not rather play, but rather play if they want to win. Night Hunt, no. God, no. Ozark Bone Reapers, no. At their absolute best, they were strictly worse than Fire Slayers. Even at the time. And then they took an arrow to the knee and they never recovered. And then 3rd edition gave them 17 arrows to the knee. And didn't really give them anything in return, and here we are. Soulblight Gravelords / Legions of Nagash / GA Death. Let me try to think of anything crazy. So there was Nagash 60 Grimghast Reapers, but that wasn't actually that good. And by that good, I mean on the quality level of what armies we're talking about. 1,000,000 skeletons with, oh yeah, the 1st edition cheater coherency 1,000,000 skeletons thing, maybe. There was like a Grand Alliance death thing with some blade that could summon stuff, but I don't know if you had to pay reinforcements for it or not. And that was just like a cute interaction. I don't know how good it was. Original Tomb Kings at their least price increased. So like, Tomb Kings, you could play them right away in Age of Sigmar, even when the game got points. And then from that moment on, their points went up 20% every 6 months forever until they were banned. So maybe you just play the cheapest Tomb Kings you possibly can for fun. Whatever the cheapest Tomb Kings were. I mean, Tomb King Tristan has to play something in this tournament, right? Throw the man a bone. You can get those on a digital table at least. Nagash plus 120 skeletons with spaghetti plus 1 single Skeleboy 35 inches away next to the Necromancer. Maybe. Magma cannons were kind of okay. Oh, we're talking about Legions of Asgore? Nah. I don't think so. I don't know that Legions of Asgore quite ever got to this type of list. GAD. Gloomspite gets. Okay, I'm shitting on Gloomspite gets here, but actually, during one very specific metagame, I recall Gloomspite gets being like the secret hotness underrated that no one played. That was actually really good at the time. It was just really hard to play. Nobody owned that many of them. Nobody really played the army. But yeah, I don't think they have ever done anything like this. By the way, it's not a bad thing, for reference, to have ever not done something that deserves to be put on the most brutally unfun, overpowered list of armies ever. That's not exactly a bad thing. You know? In any other situation, we would be celebrating their good balance on that. Although good balance, I think, would imply, like, the floor would be up and the ceiling would be down. All right. Ogre Maw tribes. God, no. Beastclaw was, like, legitimately good right after the book came out and no one knew how to play them yet. And early 3rd edition, before people discovered that giants were simply Beastclaw except 300% better. But I don't think they never got great. They were always just, they had two little blips of being good, and then for the first like 4 years of the game, they were amongst the worst. And right now they're like fat middle. Now, if you want to talk armies that happen to be using Stonehorns or Thundertusks, but not actually Beastclaw armies, we can talk about GA Destruction, Cowruck, or something like that. And maybe that might be worth mentioning. Forgot to the old Thundertusks and Goblins lists, but that was, no, yeah, that was pre-points, and so it doesn't count. We could talk about like Cowruck, maybe. Like Cunning Ruck plus Stonehorns with a real old stone skeleton. Although that was a Grand Alliance Destruction army choosing not to play Beastclaw because doing so was a direct upgrade for you. People playing a bunch of Thundertusks and stuff like that, but that doesn't really do anything. Do I have Cowruck up here? Yeah, Cunning Ruck and its various forms like Cowruck. A real stone skeleton. Etc. Battle Brew. 2s and 2s, baby. Alright. All Ardboy all the time, 2nd edition, maybe. Oh, somebody mentioned that. Somebody mentioned it, and I wrote it down. But I didn't give it a lot of thought. Yeah, real stone skeleton, just like your grandmother used to make. That's off, sure. I don't think anything orcs have ever done has been this list worthy. I feel like now that you guys bring it up, playing a million Ardboys, like that was probably one of the better things to be doing with Ironjaws at a certain point in history, but it doesn't touch this, which hardly deserves to be on the list, which doesn't touch this, which is still just a counter pick. And so how many levels are we gonna go down? Honestly, Ironjaws right now are probably the strongest they've ever been. Or if not right now, then 3 months ago or whatever, I would say. Like they could do, on the face of things, they could do like more disgusting stuff randomly throughout time. Like, ooh, I'm using the Wah 6 times in a turn, and like that's fun and everything, but I think they're the strongest they've ever been now. And they're not problematic really, so. Sons of Behemoth. This is an interesting one. So here you have 35 wound Druids with Finest Hour, all-out defense, capture infinity, 1 million extra victory points due to battle tactics existing, redeploy, all that stuff, right, in 3rd edition. How does that interact with 1st and 2nd edition cheese, though? Do they just kill them, and that's it? Do they just kill them? Probably. I'd be interested in seeing it play out, but I think Mega Gargants just fucking drop. And they're not particularly great, like right now. Even 3rd edition metagame changed. And then Gargants were, like, good still, but Dead Ringer out of competition. Even before they did that balance update, you know? Where in the balance update, they basically said, hey, you should kill this crap, so we'll give you extra points for it. And everyone in the world was like, yeah, we know. 3 to 5 months ago, we all changed our lists to be able to beat Gargants already. And now you're just dancing on its corpse, I suppose. Thanks. Where's the Sword of Japan sitting? In the fun zone. In the fucking fun zone. Sword of Japan on like Tenebrial Shard. 4-up, teleporting anywhere within combat and attacking 6 times, rerolling everything, looking for those 6s. I mean 5s, because it got +1 to hit heroes. For D6 mortal wounds to stuff. After it fights, it can retreat. In a GA order list or some nonsense. Hell yeah, brother. It's sitting in the fun zone, but it's not problematic. It's just fun. Same with Ethereal Amulet, although that one's not fun. But you had to play it. Thermal Rider Cloak. Don't forget about Realm Artifacts. You can put those in some of these armies. Okay. The Brooch. Admittedly, some people did some things with the Brooch that I would consider unnatural. But most of the other Realm Artifacts were just good fun. -3 rend on your random fucking dude. Who gives a shit? It's just fun. Dimensional Blade did nothing wrong. Let's see. There was that one spell artifact that made you immune to spells unless you rolled a 1 or some such. I remember that one. Alright, did we miss anything? Any Grand Alliance? I just don't think... I think Bahamut's are gonna fucking melt, but maybe not. If you have 4 megas, that is 140 wounds. And let's say Goutfire Scorch just like teleports in, right? Nothing personnel kid, and then just delivers mortal wounds right to your front door. How many mortal wounds did Goutfire Scorch really deliver to you? Is it in the 50s, I think? From memory. And so they kill 1.5 Gargants, maybe 2. You still have 2. And you probably kill all the rats. Like, Gargants might be favored against stuff here randomly. I want someone to play Gargants. I don't think they'll win. Or even necessarily do well. But I want to see Gargants here. For science. I know they're not even great right now. I just want to see what happens, okay? And is there anything we missed? Otherwise, you know, you can fill this up with like great armies. Lumineth or, you know, whatever, Bellicor stuff, or armies from the past that were really good but not like worthy of putting on this on, you know, Nagash with 60 Grimghast Reapers, or some Living City, you know, Oops All Dragons, Fulminator, what, you know, shoot guys, something, Bridge, Hollow Heart, blah, you know, stuff like that. Tzeentch, like 5 different Tzeentch lists over the course of time. 2 or 3 different Seraphon lists over the course of history. You know, Daughters of Cain. Some Grand Alliance Order list with Frostheart Phoenix and a bunch of wizards or whatever, if you want to do some Byron Orde thing. What was that Dragon City thing where you just played a bunch of those dragons that they retired in that battalion that let you mostly outdrop everyone and sprint across the table and shoot Dragonfire, which is what the Stormcast dragons do now, only this army was better and faster and more reliable. And then you had like 3 Dragon Knight 5-man unit of horseback guys as your battle line. I can't remember what that was. That army was like highly decent. It was arguably the best Alpha Strike army at a very early point in the game. Yeah, the Dragon Princes. You remember that one? It was like proto Idoneth Deepkin Oops All Dragons almost. And for its time, it was probably better than what Oops All Dragons is right now. But if they both fought, I think Oops All Dragons would win. Yeah, maybe the Fox bullshit would be a strong counter to a lot of the stuff happening here. As above, but Foxy boxing. As above, but Foxy boxing, LRL. Oh, they're boxing you in with the foxes and then just shooting you. Moving in the opponent's shooting phase, stuff like that. It's possible a melee army here can't deal with that, but I'm not seeing a lot of melee armies. Weird. Like half, maybe? Cities something, I guess, but that's just like a good stuff at the time. I don't think Cities is ever doing something egregious. It was always just a good stuff toolbox outplay people army. Cities. It's kind of what they always have been. Toolbox good stuff outplay people. I suppose bridge plus shoot we might as well, just because it's like a kind of famous thing. As above, but bridge, blaster, Hallowheart, good stuff. Some Grand Alliance bullshit. Yeah, something from like first edition, before a lot of armies even had rules or battle traits beyond just having battle line. Is there some like Grand Alliance mixed thing I'm just forgetting about because it's been too long? I remember there was Cow Ruck and Cunnin Ruck and stuff like that in Destruction. Battle Brew on Frost Lords, hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s, with a real Stone Skeleton backed up by buckets of dice from archers. Like, that was good. I don't know that it, like, best of all time good, but pretty good. Grand Alliance Death, maybe there's a Tomb King thing, probably not. Whatever the cheapest Tomb Kings were. I know there was some blade that could summon stuff back in the day. Sail comboed with the already listed Bloodletter Bomb. Yeah, I'll just add it. So, Corn, Bloodletter Bomb, plus Sail. Who let them sail across the table. Sail. Alright, Grand Alliance Chaos. Not really. Not that I can think of. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Old Bellicor was pretty good too, but yeah. No, I don't think so. And then Grand Alliance Order was kind of just living cities with cooler artifacts. Any like really early stuff I'm trying to think of right now? The wall you in turn 1 Stormcast. Are we talking about Vanguard Wing? Alpha block, alpha attack. I do have Vanguard Wing on here. The one that lets you deploy your guys inside of enemy units and stuff. You could pick them up and just wall everyone in. And your 6-unit champions are all attacking the same thing. And then every turn you teleport them out and then teleport them back in with all of the special weapon guys around the thing that you want to kill. Making sure that you have a spaghetti strand all the way back to the dude so they can acquire all their buffs, teleport every turn, you know, beam you in the battle shock, so on and so forth. They never have to actually move because they just teleport every time. And so the limitation of having one Stormcast standing next to the dude and the others everywhere didn't matter. That was pretty good. I wonder if it'll struggle on actual damage, but It was pretty good. It was also hella gross, obviously. You know, all right, I don't think I can think of any others. We got 19, though. That's a pretty decent list. And you could just add, like, some really good army that someone happens to want to play, just for data. Gargants or LRL or Bridge Blaster Boys. What I would be really pleased by, I'd be ever so pleased, if someone showed up with a list that I just totally forgot about. The history of time, you know, and it's actually the shit, and like starts running through them. That would be cool. Now Tom has to decide whether he wants to play Swifthawk Agents one last time or bring the hot shit. We'll see. Begin the PowerPoint breakdowns. Yeah. And we'll come up with some little really quick, really short rundowns of these lists, or like the best version of or close to it, and just like talk about what it did, how it was allowed to do that, you know, how long it took to get changed, if we can find the history of it. 20th list should be something like Modern Thunder Lizard. Oh yeah, for like to see the best right now versus the best before. It's a good angle. Thunder Lizard Seraphon. Best list. AT the moment. For reference. Which is kind of what stuff like this is getting put in there for, but yeah, best list right now. Maybe oops all Drayongans. Things that people are complaining about right now that historically speaking seem silly to me, but to them it's meaningful. The control group, yeah. I think if you bring oops all dragons to this tournament, you're the one who's going to be saying oops at that decision. But hey, dude, imagine the clippable content if Oops All Dragons won, and then they just keep replaying the clip I just said over and over with foghorns and stuff. Imagine the memes. Ahem. Good luck with Goutfire, though, honestly. Are we proving a point with this tournament? I don't know. I don't want it to just be that. I'm actually interested, and I think it'll be very fun. Whatever the point ends up being in the video, I'll very clearly state it. Cock meta for memes? Yeah. Step on me, LRL, yeah. I think it doesn't matter my intention. Well, okay, it does matter, but I think if you have a tournament for the best overpowered army of all time, and then you put modern armies in there and they get trounced, the narrative writes itself. And so I have to be aware that that's just going to be like how people see it. And I can, in the video, I can, you know, talk it through, right? But there is going to be that, like, that's what people are going to take out of it. If that happens. Maybe. Like, look, it's possible that 3rd edition armies get 1 million extra victory points every game. And Roar is, like, OP, right? And they could, like, do much better than people think. I'm going to be reporting the facts, all right? Just the facts, ma'am. I'm making this video. The video is not propaganda. If that's who wins the tournament, that's the story I'm going with. This is a science experiment. This is not an exercise in propaganda. Also, if that happens, that'll be so good. For the clickbait gods, are you kidding me? 3rd edition, Lumineth Sentinels win most overpowered army of all time. The absolute salt. You know what I mean? And so I'm willing to sit back and kind of see what's going to happen. I'll be pleased either way. Like and subscribe. You should pull a stunt and go through the whole tournament, and then at the end, crown your own army as the best. Yeah. Show up with Beast Claw, just cheat all the time. Give myself a trophy. If we were trying to balance, we need the heavy scoring older battle plans, or 3rd edition armies might sprint away from older ones. Yeah, that's going to require a lot of the work for us is doing this with the different editions. And what battle plans to choose is going to really matter, and we're going to have to try to be really fair, but also test a wide variety of skills for these. Yeah, I didn't like that. That was a test roll. I was just warming them up. Yeah. One thing is for sure, though, we will be releasing which of the 5 battle plans you'll be playing on, and the full, like, this is what we're going to do, at least for the most part, with rules and how things are going to be working in the game, before people write their lists, obviously. This is science. And so it's actually a bad thing if people don't know what the battle plans are. I want people coming with all guns blazing, fully prepared. I'm not trying to, any given Sunday, do a Super Bowl where you can, randomly get there. I'm trying to do the World Series, where it's like best of 7. You're simply trying to discover the best team. Synergizing, use corporate lingo. Sorry, I was going to say suturing, but I didn't want to use medical language. I could say we're cross-dissolving. I'll use terminology from my own wheelhouse. We're cross-dissolving. Maybe an additive dissolve. Maybe a star wipe. We're star wiping from one edition to the other. The old page peel. Maybe that silver nitrate. Anyway, I'm going to gouge out my eye. Put it in a jar filled with hydrogen peroxide and 3 ball bearings, shake it up, and then pop that sucker back in. And I might actually stream later tonight, because 3 hours, I wanted more. But every time I blink, it is gouging fissures into the surface of my eye. And I either got to take some painkillers and really go in this, or sleep it off and hope the natural acid stuff that's supposed to get things out of your eye happens. I apologize for this. It's annoying, but I might stream later tonight, even if it's just video game and chat or something. But TY for watching. Oh yeah, maybe EDH or something, I guess. But I'm gonna flush out my eyes and or take a nap and some Aleve and just hope this gets out of here. And then maybe stream later tonight, video games or Magic or something. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks for liking my stuff. And I'll see you tonight, probably. Keep an eye on Discord, because that is where I will announce such things. Thanks for the subs and the bits and the primes. We are nearing phase 2. Phase 1 was figure out how many people were interested in such a thing. Is it even possible? Get a decent amount of lists and spread the word a little bit. Phase 2 is finalize, at least for the most part, what the rules are going to look like and how things are going to go. And come out with a centralized thing that people can click on to find the old rules. And then phase 3 is cast out the net far and wide and rope in people that want to participate in this event and having them give us their lists. so that we can look at their lists and come up with any like specific questions we need to answer before the games. Phase 4 is scheduling. Oof. And then Phase 5 is doing the tournament and recording most of it. Phase 6 is making the video out of it. So it's a 7-phase plan. Phase 7 is profit, by the way. Anyway, TY for watching. We'll hopefully see you guys later tonight. Stay tuned. And I'm going to try to fix my fucking eye. Appreciate it. I'm giving you guys a cream.
The cream. And let me point. The cream. The cream. The cream. The cream. The cream.